when
you
can't
do
what
you
want
do
what
you
can. The year was 2016, and many of you did this same exercise this morning. The difference for me is like many of you, the person I did this with was a complete stranger. What I didn't understand in that moment is that this specific phrase, when you can't do what you want, do what you can, would truly come to define my experience as an innovation fellow. And I remember looking in Jag's face. I haven't seen him since, but I remember seeing reflected in his eyes what I felt. Amazement that we created something so incredible spontaneously. And 4 days later, as I came back to my own university, I don't think I could have known how impactful that single phrase would become. On universities, I came back to my university, Utah Valley University. I realized that we wanted to put an innovation space on campus. We had one problem. We didn't have the space. Since 2009, which was when Utah Valley became an actual university, UVU has kept its open enrollment policy. For those who don't understand that, open enrollment means that any student who wants to access to higher education can have it. Within the last few years since 2009, our student body has grown 423% to 40,000 students, making us the largest university in the state of Utah. That's a lot of students. Within that time, what we came to realize as we came back is we wanted to implement space, and we felt like we needed space. But when you can't do what you want, you got to do what you can. It's really difficult to move and to create a space on a campus when your own professors are sharing offices. So what we decided to do instead is to look at what we did have. We may not have space, but we had people. And people are incredible. People can change. People are the things that change things. So over the next few years, as we began to kind of go about and talk to the different, and I guess increase our ecosystem and talk to people, we began to increase our social capital by starting with professors. I began knocking on doors, walking into offices uninvited, and then walking into meetings I wasn't invited to. And this is how I met some of these people. And in the previous slide, Dr. Cynthia Wong, who truly is one of the change makers on campus. Her love of students and willingness to put up with all of our mistakes as students and to kind of help us learn to fail fast and succeed sooner is really what's gotten us to the place we're at now. What we came to realize in this short amount of time is that space wasn't the issue at Utah Valley University. It was that we didn't understand the problem. The problem was that people needed experience. An interesting fact about Utah Valley University is that most of our students, or like 25% of our students, are either 25 or older, which means most of them are supporting families coming back to school to make themselves more marketable. So when we came back and said space, we missed the whole problem. We missed the fact that what our students really needed was experience to make them marketable in the job force and when they graduated. So what we decided to do instead is we decided to do what we call the Innovation Incubator. We created this bi-monthly meeting where we would combine forces with faculty, students, and outside resources, mainly people from industry. And we'd bring them and gather them into the same room. When you can't do what you want, do what you can. We'd pick any room we could, any room that would fit the amount of people that we've had. And we have our second iteration of this Innovation Incubator here next week. One of the things we noticed when doing this is that seeing the connections that were formed was way more impactful than just having a space. And really what we came to understand is that when you can put people in a room and you give the students what they need, which is experience and an experience that helps them graduate. And that's what the Innovation Incubator did for these students, is gives them an opportunity to work with those who've been there before and work on projects that make them impactful and make them marketable. So, as you all go back to your universities, my challenge to you is to not think about what you can't do, but think about what you can do. And always remember, how might we do what we can when we can't do what we want? Thank you.